What's up, Heat Nation? Your boy Ernest here. I am back with another Miami Heat Talk video. Excited, you guys, because we're going to get ready to rock and roll on another Miami Heat Talk adventure. Go ahead and smash the like button, click that subscribe button. We on the road to 4,000 subscribers. Thank you to everyone that's supporting this channel. Now, I would love to be more positive today, you guys. I mean, you know what I say. Every day we wake up, it's a great day. Last night wasn't really that much of a great night because the Miami Heat did drop to the Golden State Warriors. The Heat get blown out, 113-92. Wasn't a pretty game. You know, it started really competitive. The first half was amazing, but this is kind of the story that's been the Miami Heat this season. First half's really nice. Second half, especially the third quarter, dropped the ball. Now, I did report last night the Miami Heat were extremely shorthanded. You don't have Tyler Hero. You don't have Duncan Robinson. They're still going through their injuries. Kevin Love was upgraded to questionable before the game, but then didn't miss the game. But the biggest one was our boy, Jimmy Butler, missed yesterday's contest as well. Jimmy Butler didn't play due to an illness. It was apparently a non-COVID illness. So because of that, because we were hampered, the Heat dropped to the Golden State Warriors again. Let's talk a little bit about this game because, you know, I always try to tell you guys, even in the negative, we always got to try to find some positivity. And that's not just with this Miami Heat team, you guys. That's in life. There's no need to be negative. There's no need to look at a glass half empty. You got to try to look at things half full. You got to try to look at things with a positive perspective because that's all we can control. Not just being Heat fans, but in life. If a situation comes at you guys and you treat it with a negative mindset, with a pessimistic mindset, it's Murphy's Law. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong. It's not about the situation. It's about how you handle the situation. So I understand that right now Heat fans are pissed off, upset. And when you look at this game, I mean, there was a lot of signs that it was leading for disaster. First and foremost, you start with Terry Rozier and Patty Mills on the backcourt. No, no, I don't care how many players are missing time. You don't start Patty Mills. Patty Mills last night gives you 18 minutes for 2 points. Trash. You should have started Caleb Martin. I think a starting lineup last night of Jovic, Bam Adebayo, Caleb Martin, Jaime Jaquez, and Terry Rozier would have been the optimum lineup. You have Haywood Highsmith coming off the bench. You could have sprinkled it around. I understand you're missing a lot of players, so I get why Spo started Patty Mills. He wanted Caleb Martin to be the firepower off the bench. Haywood Highsmith did a fantastic job being the sixth man off the bench yesterday. Haywood Highsmith gives you 15 points, 6 rebounds, 6 for 7 for the field. It was a Haywood Highsmith good night. You get 24 points from Bam Adebayo leading the way, 15 from Rozier, 12 from Jaquez, 11 from Jovic, 10 from Martin. It just wasn't a good game from the Heat. No matter how hard Bam tried, no matter how hard certain players tried, we were just hampered. These injuries are getting ridiculous. And I mentioned in a video earlier, you guys, that I feel the Miami Heat are coming around with these injuries. And I still feel that way. There's still 10 games left to go in the season. There's still enough time for the Miami Heat to get healthy. We don't know what's going on with Tyler Hero. We don't know what's going on with Duncan Robinson. As we know, it's day to day. Tyler Hero is going to be reevaluated this Friday, so we're going to see what happens there. Kevin Love can return any day now. So all the Miami Heat needs to do is just hold on. Now, with that loss yesterday, it's like I tell you guys, every game moving forward should be considered and treated like a playoff game. Because you got 10 games left in the season, and now with that loss last night, the Miami Heat are now a game and a half behind the 6th seed from the Indiana Pacers. A game and a half is a big deal. Because with 10 games left, all Indiana has to do is just hold the 500 mark. Because the Miami Heat lately, especially in the last 10 games, we've gone 4-6. So the Heat haven't really been doing that great. Now, the good news is you got the Blazers on Friday. You got the Wizards after that. 2 very winnable games. But we saw the Heat lose to the Washington Wizards recently. So we need all hands on deck. And this is getting to the main subject of this video, you guys. I'm wearing a Jimmy Butler shirt because it's been a year since we've seen this guy activate Himmy mode. In 72 games of playing this year, 72 games that the Miami Heat has played, Jimmy Butler has only played 50 games. He's missed 22 games so far this season. So the question that I have to ask you guys is simple. Is Jimmy Butler ruining the Miami Heat's season so far? Now, I mean, I know that's kind of a ridiculous question to ask. I understand that Miami Heat fans are split. Miami Heat fans are torn. I see Heat fans 50-50 down the line. A lot of people are saying they understand, give Jimmy Butler load management, get him ready for the playoffs. A lot of other people, the other half side of the Miami Heat, are saying things like Jimmy Butler's washed. Jimmy Butler's done. Trade Jimmy. Get rid of Jimmy. I still feel that Jimmy Butler's our guy. What we're going through right now, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Jimmy Butler build. I want to give you guys some numbers that Jimmy Butler's averaging this season. He's averaging 21.4 points a game, 5.4 rebounds, 5 assists, 1.4 steals. He's averaging 50% from the field, 41% from the three-point line, a career best, in 34 minutes of play. These numbers are good. These numbers are all-star level. But these are not normal Jimmy Butler numbers. I'm used to seeing Jimmy Butler average higher than these numbers, especially on the rebound, assist, and steal front. Scoring, that's where Jimmy Butler normally hovers around, the 21, 20-point mark, especially with having guys like Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero, who also average 20 points a game. But what I'm seeing is a dip in rebounds and assists. What I'm seeing is a dip in steals. And what I'm also seeing is a rise in three-point percentage. So that tells you that Jimmy Butler is not going for it like he used to. Now, what does that mean? We've made jokes, but we've seriously said that when it comes from October to January, Jimmy Butler don't really play basketball. He's just coasting. We've seen that a lot. But then when February comes, he turns it on. We've seen that every season. This year, not so much. Maybe he's holding it for the playoffs. Maybe Jimmy Butler is thinking, I did what I did last year in the playoffs. You know what I'm about. Just get me to the playoffs. Get me in a comfortable seating. I don't care who it is, and I'll rip ass. I feel that the Miami Heat are confident, knowing that wherever they land in the playoff standings, whoever they get, they have a shot. That's not the way you should be going about things, in my opinion. You shouldn't be going through things with a hope and a prayer. I understand we had that Cinderella run last year, but that's not something that you bank on for this season. What you bank on and what you're now realizing is that teams are going to take you a lot more serious in the playoffs. A lot of times the Miami Heat were winning this series. I think a lot of it had to do with teams saying, we got this, and then the Heat just punched them in the mouth and shocked them, and then they didn't have any answers. This year, teams are going to compete with that more. Teams are going to game plan for that more. You have a Boston Celtics team that is way better than last year. They've upgraded. We haven't really upgraded. Now, we have traded for Terry Rozier. I feel, actually, you know what? Let me rephrase my words. We did make an upgrade, because if you're upgrading from Terry Rozier to Kyle Lowry, that's a huge upgrade in the point guard position, in my opinion, especially when it comes to playoff time. But we've said this all the time. What we need is a healthy Miami Heat roster. But when you look at our record, 39-33, 7th in the Eastern Conference, a lot of these games are winnable for the Miami Heat if Jimmy Butler plays. Let's say Jimmy Butler, instead of missing 22 games, missed 12. He played 60 games. The Heat could have won a lot of those games where he played. And instead of being the 7th seed, you could be fighting for the 3rd seed right now. Tyronn Lue said it best before the season started. You have to take the regular season serious. Seeding is important. And I feel the Miami Heat and Jimmy Butler don't really feel that way. And it might bite you in the ass come playoff time. Because now, instead of being the 3rd seed or the 2nd seed, and you're able to take a game or two off to rest your players for the playoffs, now when it comes to the nitty-gritty, these last 10 games, we need all hands on deck. We need Jimmy playing, we need Bam playing, we need Love playing, we need everybody playing these last 10 games. This may hamper them come playoff time. Now, I don't think so. These are professional athletes. They keep their bodies ready. They keep their minds ready. I think that they're going to be good to go for the playoffs. And honestly, guys, Jimmy Butler, we've seen him turn it on every year in the playoffs. Now, I will say this. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. 2024 is the year. And I mean that in two different ways. This is the year where I truly feel that the Miami Heat can put another year on that banner. In the bottom of my heart, you guys, I really believe that. All we need is a healthy team. And I think the Heat are gearing up towards that. I think that we are gearing up to getting a healthy roster for come playoff time. I know we have a lot of players out right now, but I think the Heat are managing them, getting them ready for the playoffs, because that's what's important now, getting in the playoffs. But another thing that's important, not being in the play-in. No, you got to get out of the play-in. Get the 6th seed. You get the 6th seed, you can play Cleveland, you can play New York or Orlando. That's a favorable matchup in round 1. I would prefer if the Heat get the 6th seed. I don't want them playing in the play-in. Now, if you have to, it is what it is. We did it last year. We can do it again. But I just don't want that. But the other reason that I'm talking about that this is the year, you guys, is because I'm sure Heat fans, myself included, and I'm sure Heat management as well, is getting sick and tired of this injury shit every year. Now, I will say this. People have said in the past that a reason why young players don't really want to come to the Miami Heat is because of the culture. It's because of the fact that the Miami Heat would hamper your career moving forward because you get injured. I don't think that's the case, you guys. I mean, call it what you want. Bad luck. I call it the curse of LeBron James, because ever since LeBron left us in 2014, the Miami Heat have never had an injury-free season. That's what I call it. The curse of LeBron James. 50% is a joke, but 50% of that, I kind of mean it. But call it whatever you want. The Heat have just had bad luck with injury. I don't think that Heat culture necessarily means that you're pushed so hard and your career ends early. For God's sakes, we give Jimmy Butler so many games off, so much load management. But at the end of the day, you guys, I feel like it bites us in the ass. These load management games that Jimmy Butler takes a lot of times, it bites us in the ass. And for those people that say that Jimmy Butler was sick last night and he didn't play, I get that Spo said that. I understand that Spo meant that. Maybe it's true. But the day prior, Jimmy Butler was at the Miami Open with Neymar. He looked fine to me. Now, he could have caught a sickness that day, woke up the next day feeling like shit. Maybe he was feeling really bad. Maybe he was just sick. You know how you feel, you guys. Sometimes when you wake up, you got that really bad throat pain, the mocos running, but you'll go to work still. Jimmy Butler plays in a competitive athletic sport, running back and forth all the time. Maybe it just wasn't a good idea. Maybe he was sick. But at the end of the day, you guys, it's not a good look. It's not a good look that Jimmy Butler was in the Miami Open and the next game he takes the game off at home claiming that he's sick. But it is what it is. We need to move forward. When I say that this is the year, ladies and gentlemen, I mean that this is the year that I feel that Pat Riley's going to really look at this team. Let's say if the Miami Heat make another Cinderella run, make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, NBA Finals, or even win the whole damn thing, then you know that this team is good enough. And that health was the real reason that held us back. So if that happens, what do? You retool. You find a trade. You try to trade a guy like Tyler Hero, Terry Rozier, package a Nikola Jovic. Get that guy. Get that number one player alongside Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo, because ladies and gentlemen, Bam Adebayo is truly a number 3. Jimmy Butler, at this stage of his career, moving on to 35 next year, is a number 2. One of the best number 2s in the NBA. Can be treated like a Scottie Pippen moving forward. But you need that guy. A Damian Lillard like last year. Go after a Donovan Mitchell. You need a player like that can come into this team and night in, night out, be that guy. Be that guy to play alongside Bam Adebayo moving forward. So Jimmy Butler can take his 20 games off. But with Jimmy Butler, he's up for a contract extension this season. I'm not willing to give Jimmy Butler a $100 million contract extension when he plays only 60 games a year. Jimmy Butler's got to give you a hometown discount. If he doesn't give you a discount, that's another conversation. Because as much as I love Jimmy Butler, we let Dwayne Wade walk in 2016 because we felt it was the betterment of the team. I understand. You got to do right by the player. You got to keep the player happy. But back in 2016, Miami saw the writing on the wall with Dwayne Wade. They offered him less money so they can retool around him. He didn't want it. He wanted that big number. So we let him walk. Was it a good idea? Was it a bad idea? Who knows? It was a good idea for us building the team wise, but it was also a bad idea because it left a really bad taste in the mouth of a lot of stars coming to Miami, and it hampered us getting players. So you can see it both ways, you guys. So I want to hear from you, Heat fans. Out of everything I just said, do you guys feel that Jimmy Butler is hampering the Miami Heat with this load management? Or do you feel, who cares about the regular season? Get in the playoffs, and when it comes to playoff time, Jimmy Butler shows you exactly what it is. It's a difficult topic, you guys, because as much as we love what Jimmy Butler does in the playoffs, we want to see a better regular season. That's why I feel what the Heat truly need to do is make a trade to get a player alongside Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo who can truly be that number one. Bam's not that guy. Maybe he can be, but we've seen it. He's not really that guy. Bam is a solid number two, maybe the best number three in the NBA. But I think next season, we need to look at Bam as the number three, Jimmy as the number two, possibly trade Tyler. Tyler's the main point. It's going to be hard to trade him because of the injuries. You take Tyler, Terry Rozier, packing it with a sweetener, maybe a first-round draft pick, and get that guy. A Donovan Mitchell type of player. That's what I feel, Miami Heat fans. But this is going to be the year where I feel Pat Riley's going to truly see what he has to do with this team. If we make another far run, retool, repackage this team. But if the Miami Heat, with all this crap, all this load management, can't even make it out of the first round, then I think it's seriously time that Pat Riley and the Miami Heat think about repackaging this team, retooling this team. Maybe not blowing it up, but making the necessary trades you need to make. Maybe even trading Jimmy Butler. So I want to hear from you, Heat fans. What do you guys think? Do you feel that we should blow this team up for next season or keep it riding? Do you feel like me? Let's see what happens. Because at the end of the day, you guys, we can be as positive as we want. We can be as negative as we want. But what's the point in being negative? What's the point in bad-mouthing this team? What's the point of throwing shade on this team? I say wait for the playoffs. See what happens. Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat can do it. But if they can't, it's another conversation. Let me know what you think in the comments, you guys. Don't forget to smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. We on the road to 4,000 subscribers. I need you guys' help to get there. Thank you so much for the love and support. And until next time, your boy Ernest out. That's enough said.